Welcome to MystiCast.
Imagine finding a hidden truth. Something tucked away for decades, maybe. A love story, almost lost, but captured on paper, holding a secret someone really wanted to keep buried. Welcome to the Deep Dive. We dig into the stories, the sources, that really tell us something surprising about our world.
And today, our mission, it's pretty special. We're looking at this incredible set of letters, historical letters, actually, from 1947.
1947, wow.
Yeah, found in a really unexpected spot. And we're going to try to piece together the human story behind them. You know, the kind of story that often gets lost in the big historical accounts. See what insights they offer, maybe about how history works behind the scenes.
Okay, so where do we even start with something like that?
Well, the story begins in the Delhi University Library, in this old dusty wing, apparently a place most students just walk past.
Right, forgotten corners.
Exactly. But this one student, they were there doing research for paper. The assignment was Untold Stories of Partition.
Okay, thick.
Very. And as they're there, they run a hand along the wall, some crumbling plaster, and a piece just gives way.
No way, like in a movie.
Pretty much. And behind it, a rusted iron box.
Seriously, just hidden in the wall.
Yep. And inside, aged papers, letters, all bound with red thread. And every single one was dated 1947.
Wow. I mean, how often does something like that actually happen? Finding physical letters from that exact moment.
It's incredibly rare.
Right.
So much from that time was, lost or just passed down through families orally. To find actual documents from 47, a year of such upheaval.
The partition year.
Precisely. It's almost unheard of. The student apparently said the first letter started with something like, "To whoever finds this after I'm gone."
Chilling.
Yeah. Please know these were meant to be read. The handwriting was described as elegant, ink fading, but the emotion was still there. And that's how we meet Amar and Noor.
Amar, a Hindu, and Noor, a Muslim. Is that right?
That's right. And their story unfolds in pre-partition Lahore, a secret love story, it seems.
What do the letters actually say about them, about their life there?
Well, they paint this really intimate picture. You get glimpses of whispered chats near Gurdwara walls, quick glances in crowded markets, promises made in writing but maybe never spoken aloud. It creates this quiet, personal world.
Right. A world that must have felt so different from everything else that was starting to happen.
Exactly. That's the striking thing. The contrast between these small personal moments and the absolute chaos that was escalating just outside their bubble.
And that couldn't last, I imagine. Did the letters show that shift?
Oh, absolutely. The tension, the fear.
Yeah.
It starts creeping in. There's one from MR, July 47, so just a month before partition.
What does he say?
He writes, Noor, they're burning the old part of the city. I saw a man dragged from his shop for wearing the wrong cap.
God, that's vivid and terrifying.
Isn't it? He goes on, they say we must leave, that our safety is in separation, but where do I go without you?
It just captures that impossible situation, doesn't it? The personal cost of these huge political decisions.
It really does. The sheer pain, the awful choices people were forced into. It wasn't just lines on a map. It was lives being ripped apart.
So what kept them going? Just their connection?
It seems like it was their anchor, yeah. But even that bond, well, the story takes a darker turn.
How so?
Amar's letters start to sound more paranoid. He mentions his father talking about some kind of secret meeting.
Secret meeting?
Yeah, involving preventative action against the local leader. He even uses the phrase, assassinations behind closed doors.
Assassinations. Wow. Okay, that's more than just riot paranoia.
Right, that's the question it raises. Was this just, the fear talking, a young man caught up in terrifying times? Or had he actually stumbled onto something bigger, something more organized?
Are there historical whispers of things like that? Planned violence beneath the surface-level chaos of partition?
There are certainly theories and less documented accounts. It suggests a potential layer of calculation, perhaps, that isn't always part of the main narrative. And it makes Amar's last letter even more unsettling.
His last letter, when was that?
August 2nd, 1947, just days before the official split.
And what did it say?
He wrote to Noor. Noor, I've heard things I wish I hadn't. Plans. Not just riots. Something worse.
Meaning worse.
Yeah. And then he says, if anything happens to me, promise you'll hide the letters. They'll silence me, but maybe someone in the future will know the truth.
That was it?
That was it. He never wrote again. Just silence.
That's incredibly chilling. The silence itself almost confirms his fears, doesn't it?
It really feels that way. It strongly implies something happened to stop him. It shifts this from just a tragic love story to, well, possibly a piece of hidden maybe even dangerous history.
So what about Noor? Did she write more?
Yes, the remaining letters are hers, and the student described them as shaky, panicked.
Understandably.
Absolutely. She writes about her family relocating to Amritsar, about waiting agonizingly near the border, desperate for any word from Amar.
But nothing came.
Nothing, just silence. And her final letter. It's dated August 14th, 1947, the day before independence.
Right on the cusp.
Yeah. And it's incredibly poignant. She writes, "Tonight I light a daya, a small lamp, for the land we once shared, for the boy who showed me how love can bloom in silence."
Oh, wow.
And then, if you're out there, Amar, I kept my promise. I hid your truth.
She hid the letters in the wall.
It seems so. That promise she made. It carries so much weight, doesn't it? Her hope, her resilience despite everything. Holding on to that love, that secret.
It really speaks to that quiet strength people can find, preserving his story, his truth, even in the middle of all that horror.
Exactly. A determined individual act to keep a narrative alive.
So let's jump back to the present. The student finds these letters, reads this incredibly intense story. What did they do then?
Well, imagine sitting there in the library, this box open. The student said it felt like reading someone's soul. We hear the huge numbers of partition, millions displaced, so many killed, but this.
This makes it personal, real.
Precisely. One story, two voices. So the student took the letters to their professor.
And the professor?
Confirmed they were authentic. Checked the ink, the paper. They were the real deal from 1947.
But what about the darker stuff, the assassinations, the something worse?
Well, that's where it gets intriguing. When the student mentioned those parts, the professor apparently went quiet.
Quiet.
Yeah? And just something like, some things are best left in shadows.
Woo, okay, that's cryptic.
Isn't it? But it gets even stranger. That same night, the student gets an anonymous message on a college forum.
An anonymous message about the letters.
Yep. Just 4 words. Stop reading the letters.
Decades later, someone sent a warning.
Decades later.
Yeah.
It's pretty unsettling. It almost lends credence to Amar's fears, doesn't it? Suggests maybe there was something someone still wanted hidden.
It really does. Who would care now unless that truth Imar wanted hidden was significant and potentially damaging to someone's narrative?
Exactly. That's where the deep dive takes us, I think. Beyond the love story, poignant as it is, into how history itself can be shaped, or maybe even suppressed. These letters hint that the chaos of partition might have masked other, quieter, more calculated actions.
Actions some people might still prefer remain, like the professor said, in the shadows.
That seems to be the unsettling implication. History isn't always just what we're told. Sometimes the silence, the gaps, they aren't accidental. They might be deliberate.
So wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway here? This dive into Amar and Noor's letters, it feels like more than just finding a lost story.
I think it shows how powerful these individual, intimate accounts can be. They don't just put a human face on massive events like partition.
Yeah.
They can actually challenge our understanding of those events,
Yeah.
show us layers we didn't know were there.
And they leave us hanging, too. So many unanswered questions.
Definitely. What really did happen to Amar? What was that something worse he was so afraid of? And who, after all this time, would send that warning? His truth is still out there, unresolved.
It makes you think, doesn't it? Stories like this, secrets hidden behind crumbling walls, maybe they aren't meant to stay hidden forever. What happens when these difficult truths, these inconvenient histories, surface years later? What's our role, as people learning about the past? What do we owe to voices like Amar's that were silenced? How do we make sure they're finally heard?